Van life has brought such an immense community of travelers over the years and has grown in popularity in just the past year alone. But every time we open up YouTube, we see that more and more van lifers are quitting. In this video, we will discuss why van lifers are quitting and what ultimately led to this decision. We will also discuss whether any of these decisions will also lead to us quitting too.
Privacy can be hard to find in van life. It is not all about finding an empty campground with a beautiful view. In fact, 90% of the time you are sleeping at a Walmart, Cracker Barrel, or a truck stop parking lot, worrying about whether the neighborhood is safe or not, or if someone is going to knock on your door saying you can't stay overnight. And many times when you're trying to open up your van to let some air in, you are also inviting people to ask questions about your van and your lifestyle. This can alter the experience of embracing freedom and cause annoyance with the lifestyle entirely. Because even in van life, freedom does not come easily and can quite often lead to burnout.
Burnout. Something even we have experienced ourselves to a great degree. Constantly having to pack up the van every single day and find a new spot can be tedious. Driving all night because the campground you found is actually private property or full, so you have to find a new one. Yeah, it's irritating to deal with and oftentimes cannot be helped. Sometimes you just need a break. You need to take a step back and temporarily stay in a place that brings more stability.
Van life is everything but stable. You're always on the move, whether you want to be or not. This lifestyle can be tricky for those who are not used to constantly moving around and are having a hard time adjusting to it. It is easy to see van lifers show the beautiful escapes they find, but they rarely show you how they got there and the mental toll it took on them. But this is fine for those who understand that stability is just not a part of this lifestyle. You have to find consistency.
This is a big one. This can really help you enjoy your time out on the road to a greater degree. Keeping up with charging your battery, restocking food, oil changes, laundry, and any other chores will assist with keeping your mind at ease. But you have to acknowledge that these chores must be completed more often than they would in a house with more storage. Our grocery trips are done every 4 days and sometimes every other day, depending on the situation. But we know that as long as we stay consistent, our van can stay clean and happy, which also contributes to our everyday happiness. But what can truly destroy all of your confidence in this lifestyle are breakdowns.
One of the biggest, if not the number one reason people quit van life are breakdowns. It puts your entire life on hold, especially since it is your home that is no longer working properly. Breakdowns can cost thousands of dollars to repair and can even lead to you having to move out entirely and find shelter elsewhere until the repairs are complete. Many people join van life to expand their savings and do not entirely prepare for the issues with money.
Money is super important to live any kind of comfortable lifestyle. It can be a huge issue if you don't have the money to fix any repairs needed for your van. One of our reasons for joining van life was to save up, but it's not always as easy as it may seem. If you don't have any cushion for paying for large expenses, then you're pretty much stuck. But if you're smart with your money and have a good savings plan, you can go very far in van life. But sometimes being strict with your money can lead to not participating in many functions or going on elaborate trips with friends. And this can lead to loneliness.
Van life can be lonely, especially if you do not have some kind of companion, whether it is another person or an animal. But for some, having a pet companion doesn't fill the void of human-to-human interaction. So even if you do find an amazing group of friends to spend time with, you will eventually part ways and continue your individual journeys until you meet again. We are lucky to have each other on this journey, which has brought along an additional sense of comfort being able to enjoy the many places we visit together.
But what will cause us to ultimately end our time as van lifers too? Money and breakdowns are our biggest issue. We have an old van, which needs a lot of care and patience. We have had to change the tires and brakes, along with many oil changes since being on the road for only a year. Those are huge expenses, and if we didn't have a plan for this and went into van life with little to no money saved, we would have to quit a while ago. We eventually went to invest in a cabin in the woods, but this will not be for a while, so we plan to stick with this adventurous lifestyle. We understand why people are leaving and empathize with them, but this should not discourage others to try it out. We tolerate the hardships because the journey and freedom is worth it.
Pickles.